Hello, everyone. Welcome. So glad you're here. We're all just arriving together. I'm here with Ken.
Hey, everybody, welcome.
Welcome. Feel free to put into the chat where you are in the world. We'd love to know where you're zooming in from.
Yeah, I'm going to do that too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so,
There.
hello. Terry's from Denver. Alex from Montclair. There's
Beautiful.
Ken.
Hey, I put myself in there.
Excellent.
St. Louis, Singapore, Elian, welcome.
Awesome. Good morning from Bangalore.
Wow,
I was in
Bangalore.
Bangalore earlier this year. I love
Wow.
Bangalore.
It's like it's really early in Bangalore,
Yeah.
Venkatesh.
Well, it's not it's not a 6:30. It's either it's because they're a half hour, right?
It's 6 a.m. in Bangalore now.
There you go.
I do a lot with Bangalore. I'm pretty sure, right? So,
Christopher, New
yeah.
Zealand, Ontario, New
Welcome.
York.
Where in and New Zealand is big. It's like where in New Zealand? Tell us. Are you in Christchurch or New York, Singapore, Australia? Hilda from Shenzhen. Welcome. Or Lee.
Yeah.
Welcome, Lee, Hilda.
Australia is pretty big too.
Yeah. Did somebody just say Australia? Oh,
BC,
yeah.
Canada.
Australia. Right. So where in Australia, Samantha? Are you in, let's see,
She said
Perth?
Sydney.
Oh, you're in Sydney. That would have been my first guess. I was trying to guess something different.
So, so
Auckland.
tiny.
Yay, Anne.
That's
Welcome.
great.
Good to
Well, we're
see you.
gonna,
Welcome
yeah.
to this thing that we call the Experience the Power of Coactive Coaching. I'm Ken Oakley, one of the two co-leaders of this thing.
And I'm Christina McFadden. That's the other co-leader of this thing.
Of this thing, which is 1 hour. So we have 1 hour together, and we are thrilled to be here with you. And
Yeah,
Terry
we
loves
are.
your glasses. Did you see that?
Oh,
Loves your
thanks,
glasses.
Terry. Oh, thank you
What
very much.
about Terry? What about my glasses, huh?
Oh, yeah. Ken's
Oh,
very competitive. So it's
I'm very competitive. You know what's interesting is I got these glasses not too long ago, and they looked very green. I was afraid they'd be too green when I got them.
they're not too
Anyway,
green.
long story short, no. And so glad to be here.
Yeah. I think we're ready to get started. Here's the thing to know. We love your feedback and comments as we go, or sarcastic remarks. So feel free to chat. We are going to do a coaching demo. We won't have you coach during that time, but right now, feel free to ask questions or just chat as we're here. Uh, Anything else we want them to know, Ken?
Yeah, well, let's just introduce ourselves a little bit as we start. So
Yeah.
I'll jump in. So I'm Ken Oakley. I'm a CTI leader. I live in Carlsbad, California, in Southern California, near San Diego. I also work in the certification program and help certify students and really learning a lot about coaching. And mainly in my life, I am a corporate trainer. So I do a lot of work around leadership in the corporate world, and um, and love bringing coaching skills to people. It's super fun. I've been doing it for about 25 years.
Oh, you're near John's mom.
Yay! Tell her I
Hi,
said,
John's mom.
yeah.
That's awesome. Uh, I'm Christina McFadden. I also am faculty at CTI. I've been coaching for 8 years, and I have a leadership development company. A lot like Ken, I get to go out in the world and help leaders grow. Yeah, a fun random fact about me. I have 3 black cats, which you might meet. They sometimes show up when I'm Zooming. So there you go.
Super
And
fun.
we're excited to have you here. We're excited. I get curious in the chat if you let us know, have you taken a CTI class yet? Or are you thinking about it? Like, where are you? Or maybe you've done the whole program. Where are you are you on a CTI journey? Are you thinking about a CTI journey? Do you live near John's mom? We want to know.
Or are you more like near Samantha,
Mm-hmm.
the west side of Sydney or the north side of Sydney?
Yeah,
Bonsai Beach, right?
great.
Yeah,
Considering fundamentals. Great. Well, this is a great opportunity to see what it could look and feel like, Terry.
yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody find it, and if you don't know where the chat is on the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little button that says chat, and you can type there. So
Right. Uh-oh. We've got more considering. I love it. Considering a CTI journey. Excellent.
yeah.
Oh, someone's starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow, wow. October 8th through 10th. Lauren's
Oh,
gonna do it. Beautiful.
stop. Oh, oh,
Carrie
excellent.
husband, Carrie, the president of CTI. Wow,
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, so glad to have you all here, wherever you are, whether you've done something with CTI or you've heard about it or you haven't even heard about it. Somebody just gave you a link and here you are. Welcome.
Hmm.
Thrilled to
Yeah.
have you here with us. Here's a little bit about what we're going to do in the next 60 minutes. So we did a little bit of introduction here. We're going to design how we want to be a little bit together, have an agreement or two. And then we're going to define what coaching is, tell you like, here's what we think of as coaching. And then we're going to show you, do a demo. Yay.
Hmm.
If you want to volunteer to be coached as part of that demo, now would be a good time to think about it and type your name in the chat. Because we'll pick somebody who
Yeah.
said, yes, they want
So,
to be there.
so what that means, and Ken and I are co-leading, which means we might step on each other's toes vocally, which is just part of our process. Um, so what that means is if you volunteer, we would bring you up on screen and you would get to be coached for about 10 to 15 minutes on a topic that is something you would like a little supported. So if you're interested in that, you can private chat us if that's helpful. But it would be helpful if we're looking for a volunteer to be coached.
Yeah.
And then we'll step right into what you can expect at this webinar. Yeah, Ken?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of started saying it with what we're going to do, with learning what coaching is, going to actually give you a coaching tool and then do that demo we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of coaching skills that you'll see in the demo. We're going to ask you during the demo to kind of note, what do you see? What skills are you noticing? And then we're going to do a little bit of debriefing about it and try to answer your questions, as many of them as we can. We may not
Mm-hmm.
get them, but that's what we're going to do. And so there, let's jump into the next thing.
Yeah, what's the next slide that we have?
I think it's about designing how we want to be together. So we also have Özlem that you can see her Coactive Training Institute logo there. She's basically a tech host for us, and she's putting up some slides.
Great. And we see we have a volunteer for
There she
coaching.
is.
Terry,
Yeah,
thank you so much. Simultaneously, as we're meeting Oslam, we also have a volunteer for coaching.
yeah, yeah, Terry, that'd be great. Um, and yeah, so Özlem, what's the next? I think, do we have a slide on the Designed Alliance? We want to, designing the alliance for us is just, how do we want to be? What do we want to agree on? So as Christina said, we are co-leading. Nothing is scripted here. So I don't know if Christina is going to speak or I'm going to speak. Part of the magic of coactive and coactive leadership is that it's like you've got two minds, but you never know who's going to talk when. And we find that it enhances creativity and a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Confidentiality. So in coaching, confidentiality is a big part of what we do. And because this is a webinar, we aren't able to say it's confidential for the coaching specific, right? And also, so we just want to name that.
Yeah. And the Terry or whoever ends up, maybe a couple people might actually end up volunteering, but whoever ends up coaching, we just want you to bring a real topic, something that you would like to be coached on, maybe something you want more of in your life, something you want less of, some goal you're trying to achieve. Those are all great things for coaching.
Yeah. I love that we said nothing scripted, and yet this part is scripted. So I just want to name that because we're
The
reading off the
slide,
slide.
the slide is scripted.
Yeah. Let's go to the next slide, if you would, Osmo. Yeah. So, Ken, what is coaching?
Yeah, what a great question. Well, speaking of scripted, here's the definition. The ICF, International Coach Federation, says coaching is partnering with individuals in a thought-provoking, creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. And that's a mouthful. So, Christina, what is that? What's your way of saying that?
Yeah, my way of saying that is, well, first of all, there's lots of ways. And the first way that shows up for me is coaching is the ability to work with someone who's maybe seeing something really narrow. And as a coach, I get to come in and ask questions. It helps them widen their view so they can see different ways or more ways, or something they weren't seeing before. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's a feeling I get when I work with someone. We start here and we come out to here. What about you, Ken? What's another way you say it?
I often, when people say, what is coaching? I'll often say, when I coach people, I help them really clarify what they want
Hmm.
and powerfully move towards it.
Wow. I can tell
Yeah.
you've been doing this for a while, Ken. Even just the way you say that, the weight of it, it's delicious.
And we say, if you are a coach out there, somebody who has coached, you'll find when you tell people and talk to people, everybody's got different ideas what it is. I'll say
Hmm.
what it's not. It's not therapy, right? It's not therapy. It's not mentoring even, although a lot of times mentors out in the corporate world use a lot of coaching.
Hmm.
Um, right? What it
Yeah.
is really supporting people. It's like letting people find their own answers.
Hmm. Well, and I welcome folks to chat here. Have you had a coach before? Is this something you've experienced? Is there a definition of coaching that you like? We welcome you to be part of this conversation. And yeah, have you had a coach before? Is this going to be your first time to experience coaching? Or often people have a coach and that can inspire them to want to be a coach. Yeah, people are thinking about that. Lots of coaching before, first time. Ooh, we have the whole spectrum. Oh, this is great. Oh, I have a great coach.
About 3 years,
Ah,
John says. Wow.
okay, we have to win someone over. Wasn't super helpful 10 years ago. We'll see what happens today.
Look what Costanza says. I experienced, and meaning coaching, and I believe it's amazing to unleash the potential or unlock some situation.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I really believe in having a coach. I find it so useful. I mean, I've been teaching it for a long time, and it still works. Yeah.
Still works. I like that. I like that. Well, I think was there any other slide? Oh yeah, I know where we're headed next. Thanks everyone for sharing your experience. It's helpful to hear what your experience is. We're now going to shift into introducing you to a tool that you can use in coaching.
Some of you may have seen this. Some people have adapted uh, versions of this out in the world. It's a way to look at areas of your life and decide how satisfied or just kind of assessed really briefly. It's a kind of snap assessment. How satisfied are you in each of the areas of your life? And we divide it into these eight. Uh, Certainly, you could use other areas for it, but it seems to be a simple thing. Money, health, personal growth, career, family and friends are just some of the ones. And what we say is down the center at where the number one is, if you can see that little number one, that's like no satisfaction or very little. And the outside circle, 10, represents an area that's super, super satisfying to you.
Hmm.
So, it's a way to calibrate. Where are
Yeah.
you? Satisfaction.
Yeah. So for fun right now, in total confidentiality, we'll never know which one you pick, but just pick one of those names and notice on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? And in the chat, just put the number. We're not going to know which category it is, but just take a look and pick one and notice, oh, I'm a 9, I'm a 7, I'm a 2. It's not about the number, it's just about the noticing. Great, we have a 3, we have a 7, a
I put that was
4.
me. The seven was me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I like your
That's great.
question. It's a good question. It's like, oh, and you don't even know what area I put it
Yeah,
in.
we'll never know what area, and it's just cool to know. And you can always do more than one, right? But it's also just you getting to notice how the tool might be helpful for you to even just start noticing how you score yourself in these categories. We got a 5. Yeah.
Mm,
Isn't it
mm.
fun? We have no idea what you're rating yourself on. I might take these to buy lotto tickets later tonight. Just I might go, I'd like a 3, a 7, a 45, a 5. Yeah, who knows? It's
Yeah.
great.
And everybody else who's on, and if you just joined us, I know some people have just joined us. Welcome. We're talking
Hmm.
about a coaching tool. We're going to demo coactive coaching in a couple minutes. What we're having you do is just pick one area of this. Maybe it's career, for example, and say to yourself, how satisfied am I these days? So this can definitely change, right? Maybe in your career, something good is happening this week. And so you're really satisfied. It's like a 7 or an 8 or a 9 in level of satisfaction, where 10 is the highest. And then maybe tomorrow something happens and something that you wanted to happen on a project doesn't work out. And all of a sudden your level of satisfaction is like a 4, right? Or a 3. That's fine. We welcome you anywhere. And what we find is this tool is an easy way to work with people and get a quick assessment. How are you doing in your life these days? How
Yeah.
satisfied are you in different areas? Give you a snapshot.
Yeah, a little dashboard. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Well, thank you folks for participating and showing us the tool, like your numbers. It's really nice to see that. I think we're about to step into some coaching, right?
I think so. I think we're going to do a little bit of a demo. Christina, I think you want to do the demo
Yeah, yeah.
we were talking about a little bit up front. So Christina's going to coach somebody. Here's what I'd like the rest of you to do while she is coaching. Coaching is going to be like 10, 15 minutes, something like that. And the person being coached is going to be super interesting. However, and certainly watch there. However, what we want you to really focus on is maybe make a note for yourself. What skills do you see Christina using? Because afterwards, I'm going to ask you what skills you saw, and we'll talk about it as a way to talk about what coaching is and what it looks like. Now, it's
Mhm.
different every time. We don't know what's going to happen because we haven't met the person who's volunteering to be coached.
Mhm.
But let's get her up here. I think it's going to be Terry, right? And
Yeah.
uh, and do that. The other thing is during the coaching, please let's please minimize questions and talking in the chat. So kind of leave the chat alone for a little while. If you do have questions or things you observe, make a note on them. I've got some scrap paper here on the side myself also. Make a note of what you see.
Yeah.
And there's Terry appearing. Yay. So
Hi,
Terry,
Terry.
yay.
Hello. Hi, hi.
Welcome. Good to meet you.
Thank
So
you.
thanks for volunteering. And I'm going to actually turn my camera off.
Great.
Anything you want from me, Christine? Anything? Do you want me to say something about
Yeah.
time or
Yeah,
something?
if you could, yeah, could you maybe let me know 10, 12 minutes, kind of check in there, just with voice
Yeah,
would be
I'll just
fine.
say that's 10 minutes or that's
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
And do you want me to just just say it out loud?
Yeah, just say it's great.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna turn my camera off
yeah.
now.
And Terry, when Ken says that, it doesn't mean we need to stop. He's just giving me a heads up of where we are.
Sounds good.
Yeah, is that okay that I just kind of end the thing about it
Totally.
is it's kind of interrupting the coaching. So I'll just
Yeah.
interrupt quickly, say that's 10 minutes and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
All right, you two have fun and everybody uh, enjoy this demo.
Yeah. Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Where are you in the world?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, okay, cool. And I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um, anything you need or want to say before we step into coaching that would be helpful for
Uh,
you?
no, only that I just may, for the purposes of tonight, just edit just one minor detail of what we talk about.
Well, I'll never know the detail. How's
Great.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, good job, good job. Change names, change company things. Yeah,
Yeah.
anything you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, it sounds like you already know your topic. So, you know what I noticed, what I want you to know is I might interrupt you. And that's just for the sake of the coaching. There may be something I want to point you to see. Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's your topic?
So I feel like what I would like to explore a bit is in the career space and feeling like having a hard time finding a job, career, like something that compensates me what I feel like I know that I'm worth, but I have a very hard time articulating my skill sets on paper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it sounds like the topic of career, and like, is the outcome wanting to communicate better, or is the outcome like what is the outcome you want for the career piece? I hear the challenge. What's the thing
Yeah.
you're hoping for?
Yeah, so great question. Essentially, I feel like I should be paid much higher than I am and have been paid for the majority of my career. I have kind of come up in nonprofit government work, sort of like notoriously like underpaid.
Yeah.
And I find that the challenge and what I'm looking for is I only know what I like want to be and want to do as a role,
Hmm.
although I know that I have it in me to do so much more and so much greater. And every time I step into a role, I far exceed what I should be doing, and people recognize that. However, if I leave a job and I try to go somewhere else, I'm like, I don't know how to write that down
Okay.
and like get to a place where I am well compensated for my skill set.
Okay. So it's like, how do you leap into where you want to get paid?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's one thing you could leave this call today that would be helpful?
I think maybe just like a place to focus my energy.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. So remember when we were just looking on focus energy? I'm just writing that piece down for myself. When
Mhm.
we were just looking at that wheel and it had the career and it had the numbers, if you were to rate where you are in satisfaction now in career, where would it be?
3.
3, yeah. And as you look around at this 3, what do you notice? What's here at 3?
Um, what I notice is that um, I appreciate where I am. I do not ever just what is expected of me, and I always go beyond. And that just doesn't mean, I put in more hours or I give
Yeah,
extra effort. It is that I show very quickly that I am quite happy to jump into, figuring out what will help the company
yeah,
grow, progress, etc. But it's not like there's a role there that I'm working toward. So, and I feel very, very valued. I know that I am valued. I am not compensated in the way
yeah,
that I would like to be compensated.
yeah. That's real clear.
Yeah.
So that's what a 3 looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, for the sake of this activity and this tool we're going to play with, what what number do you want it to be out of
Oh, I
10?
mean, like at least a like 7 or 8. I mean, it'd be
Yeah.
great if I was in the 9,
Yeah.
potentially a 10, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
exactly what I think a 10 would be, but
okay, well, but that's exactly where we're headed. So which
yeah.
number would you like to pick for us to play with?
Yeah, let's aim for an 8.
Okay. So take a moment and look around, like be in an 8, right? And what's here?
Hmm, that's a great question. Um, hmm. Yeah, it's a great question. What is there is, hmm, I feel like, um, uh, I've called out the money a couple times, so I'm not going to keep repeating that. That
Yeah.
obviously is like, I'm compensated better, but
Yeah.
also I feel like I am playing with a different caliber of people as well.
Uh-huh.
So the company that are my peers are also, yeah, at a higher level, for lack of a better
Yeah.
description.
Yeah.
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 We're
What else is
challenging each other, right? We're rising to, right. You've
yeah.
got to surround yourself with the right people so that
Yeah.
you don't want to be the top of your own little pack, right?
Oh, yeah. You're playing with lots of folks. I noticed when you started that you had your hand on your heart as
Mm.
well. I wonder, as you think about this 8, what does your heart want to add in?
Mm. Yeah. So my heart would like to add in a whole lot of flexibility and trust, right?
Oh,
Flexibility and trust that, I get done what absolutely needs to be done. And sometimes that's in whatever timeline it is. And I just mean, if I'm up and working at 4 a.m. and then I want to just like take off 3 hours in the afternoon to go for a walk and then I'm back online again, great. Flexibility, right?
Flexibility.
And trust. With that, I understand comes trust.
Yeah. What else? Just looking around. Is there anything else you want to name here at this place of 8 in career?
I guess, and I do have this now, but I think it's something very valuable, is just the culture.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the culture in the workplace is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, delicious.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're hanging out at 3.
Yeah.
You want to be an 8. If we go stand back in 3 and look at the 8, right? What do you notice is like something you could do that would get you one step closer?
Mm-hmm. I mean, truthfully, from the lens that I have had, it feels like I can't see the opportunity. So it feels like leave is the right answer.
Oh, and what's it like to say that?
Valid
Yeah.
and true.
Wow. Yeah. There's a little smile, laughter. What is that? What's that part?
I've already experienced this with past employment. So I'm in the space now, which is a good space, but I've been in this space before
Yeah.
where there wasn't more opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the sense that you outgrow places.
Yeah, because I feel like my resume enters me in at this spot
Yeah.
because the transferable skills are hard to communicate when
Yeah.
you just show
Yeah.
up.
Great.
Yeah.
So around this, as we're looking at this 8 and thinking about one thing, where's one thing you might like challenge yourself around this writing piece? This is like what you started with, right? Like, what's one thing around that?
Can you pose that question differently?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Mhm.
I mean, where's one place you could help with this?
I think as beneficial as it can be to ask, friends, family,
Mhm.
peers, career coaches, like someone you hire, I think there is potential to just go directly to management also and have that
Okay.
conversation and kind
Cool.
of understand
Yeah.
what else is there for me.
So let's just jump back over into this 8 energy,
Yeah.
right? This place you
Mhm.
want to be. Hello. I sit on a ball. I failed to mention that. So I bounce a little
Okay.
here, right? I'm getting a little excited with you, right? In this 8 place. What do you want? If you were to talk to management, what would you want them to know about this place of 8?
Um, I think it's that I would like to sort of like utilize somebody else's thoughts of where do you see me? Like
Hmm.
understanding how I've shown up in this role
Yeah.
and that I know that I'm good at this. And so we want to keep me doing this, but I think we can also acknowledge that there's probably more that I can handle. And
Yeah.
so what would that look like? Are there other places where I can be a greater asset?
Ooh.
Mhm.
Look at you stepping
Okay.
apart. My neighbor's a little loud, so I just apologize. My window's open. Hope that's not intruding
Can't
in
hear
here.
it. No worries.
We're just at 11 minutes now, just letting you know.
Thanks, Ken. How exciting. So you could go and ask for some support around how they could help you grow.
Mhm.
What's it like to say that?
I think it feels doable. Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
doable. It's maybe not something that I've considered before,
Hmm.
but feels like it would be at least a good first step.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the goal of today, was the topic was career. The goal of the day was to give you a place to focus your energy.
Yeah.
What do you notice as you think about talking to management about what's possible for you in your career at your company?
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to go in on that conversation unprepared. I would
Okay.
like to maybe have some thoughts around what I think. Um, I don't want to call it an ask, but to just maybe sort of gently kind of guide that conversation so it doesn't just go off the rails, right? Like I
Yeah.
don't want to have suggestions, not off the rails in a negative way. I don't want to have suggestions potentially thrown at me that don't seem like a good fit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that I wonder what you might suggest too, right? Like, so it sounds like having that's, I think what you're saying, I think I'm saying the same thing as you, having an outline of like what you're wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, what are you learning about yourself in this micro moment of coaching?
Hmm. Um, yeah, I don't know if it feels like what I'm necessarily learning about myself, but just the framing of, um, yeah, what does moving to that 8 look like? And I think that part has just been ambiguous because it's like, I just don't like the 3.
Ah, uh-huh.
And you get kind of stuck there. I
Mhm.
get kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Um, I had just like real fun, real quick. What would a 10 look like?
Mm. A 10 would look like it's so great that I'll be on a path to early retirement.
Ah, okay, good, 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 good. That's good to know. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the homework you're giving yourself for next steps?
Yeah. So I think I will probably, fold this conversation just into the next, like monthly check-in that we have. But I'll spend some time between now and then, um, just sort of mind mapping, if you will, my talking points about, what I want to articulate so that
Yeah,
I have a little bit of a roadmap for that discussion.
great. And what I hear is you're going to be an advocate for yourself.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I make up you're amazing at being an advocate for yourself.
Thanks.
Yeah. Terry, it's been a pleasure to be with you. What do you want to say to be complete for this session?
Mm. Yeah,
Besides that my neighbor is here with us.
I can't hear it at all, just for the
Okay,
record.
okay, good, good, good.
Yeah, no, I think I would just say, yeah, thank you for just having me, yeah, just explore certain questions in a way that I haven't thought of doing before. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome, Terry. You're about to leave,
Yeah.
so they're going to take you back to the land of chat.
Yeah,
I just want to say thank you so much, and I'm so excited for you to explore how you get to be living in an 8.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
you're very welcome. All right, they're taking you away now.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much, Terry. Yeah,
Hmm.
beautiful. All right, and thank you, Christina.
Oh yeah.
Give you
Thanks,
a
Terry.
hand. And applaud.
Yay.
I'd have everybody applaud, but we don't hear you all.
Oh yeah. Well, we can use a little emoji, so just to be, oh, there's some emojis there, yeah. And also just for the sake of Terry, right? Too, right? Yeah.
Right, right. Some applause coming up on the side.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Christina. And so here's the question to all of you out there in viewing land. What skills did you see that Christina used?
Hmm. I'm going to close my window 10 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. Active listening, right? A couple of you said that at the same time, and powerful questions. Yes, we have probably at the heart of coaching are those 2 skills, listening and powerful questions, right?
I love bossy language.
Yeah.
That was great. That was a good, I love that. Visualization.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Visualizing the 8, right?
Hmm.
Asked for an agenda, Alex said, and an end goal, then followed up with an action plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff in between where exploring that vision, right? Presence, body language. Yes. that bossy language was meant to be. Alien was saying
Yeah.
body language. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a skill we actually talk about of embodiment, of actually using the body. And there's something else that I would say you did, Christina, that I see, which is with that body language, you were using your intuition like a lot, right? So we say the coach has coaches have their intuition turned on like full. So you were naming things you saw. You saw her hand on her heart, for example, right? You heard her tone of voice in listening, and you pointed out the things you heard. And then we have a thing we call dancing in the moment. In a way, what Christina did was a complete dance here as she did it. Yes, you begin with what do you want coaching on, and what do you want out of this session? Where do you really want to go out there in the world with this? And then she lit up that desire with these skills. So observing body language, championing. Yes, Monica, we actually have a skill called championing. Have you done a CTI class?
It sounds
And
like it.
another skill we call, oh, Harsh is here. Hi, Harsh. No, I happen to know Harsh. So
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, great to see you
Hey,
here.
Ken, you know
Yeah.
what? The one thing I didn't do, and I just want to check with the audience on this.
Yeah.
I wonder, does anyone sitting out there think, I know exactly what she should do? I know what Terry should do. Did anyone have that sensation in them? Go ahead and say yes or no. Like you were like, she should get help with this. I know exactly how to help her. A little bit, right? And this is one thing as a coach that we don't do. Believe me, I had those thoughts too. And my job is to let them go and what's the word I'm
Manage.
looking? Self-manage. Yeah.
We say that's a skill. Actually, we even say beyond a skill, we say it's like a fundamental way of being in the coaching, that you're listening, you're curious, and you're self-managing. And all of that was there in really large amount. Yeah, John had the I know what I would do, right? Who does it? It's so normal. So look, we want to tell you that's normal, and that's not what coaching is. Actually, what coaching is to go ahead and have those thoughts and then to set them aside and to
Mhm.
go back to your client and do what Christina did, was ask questions. She also made a request at the end, right? She made some requests.
Mhm.
It's another skill I saw Christina used that we call holding the focus, checking in on how we're doing. Like, all right, you said at the beginning you wanted this. What are you seeing about this now, right? That's a bit of holding the focus, because the conversation could move in many, many different directions, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
beautiful. Um, any questions? What questions do you have? Because we'd love to hear your questions. Oh, and also, Christina, what skills did you use that maybe I didn't mention? I mentioned listening. Other people mentioned a lot of things here.
yeah. Well, and I think I also use the tool, right? I use that wedge of the wheel of life, and in doing that, use the tool to help us have a conversation, right?
Right.
And there's lots of that's not the only way we coach at CTI. This is just one of the tools. Oh, great use of silence. There we go.
Yeah.
And it's just helpful to know that that's a really fun tool to have to help you have a conversation where you can stay away from problem solving.
Right. Right. And there's a trained coach telling you he saw your use of silence. Yeah.
Aw,
Thank you,
thank
Harsh.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Silence, we say, is a tool. Sometimes any of you out there feel like if you're going to support someone in something like this, you got to be talking, right? I think when you try coaching, any of you, as you try coaching, you will see that desire like to get some movement, and you have to like say something. And sometimes we say the best thing you can say is nothing, right?
Nothing.
There was a time when you asked a question and there was a long pause. And I was
Mhm.
watching you, Christina, thinking, oh, is she going to say something? Is she going to say something? And you waited and you waited and you waited. And then Terry had something, and she thought of it on her own. And so often, I don't know about all of you, but haven't you had a friend that you tried to tell to do something and they just never do it? And then all of a sudden something happens, and then they go off and they do it. And then they come back to you, like see a movie that you want them to see. And all of a sudden they go and they do it on their own. And you say, well, I told you that, So there's something about not telling people that's very powerful, letting
Mhm.
people really, we say, harvest their learning, harvest the client's learning.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Great. Well, like Ken mentioned, if you have questions or curiosities or Compliments, we're available.
Yeah.
What's
Oh,
here for you?
Christina. No,
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I will say, speaking of compliments, first water, hold on.
Oh, water. Let's do water. Everyone take a water drink. Let's hydrate for this webinar. And just put a W in the chat if you're joining us so we know, because we don't get to see you. So just join us. Okay, we have a question too.
Yeah, there's a question.
Mhm.
Well, so first, I want to just do, we have a coaching skill called acknowledgement. So I want to acknowledge Terry and
Mm.
say, Terry, Christina used the skill of acknowledgement. We say acknowledgement in coaching. The way we use it is very narrow from regular acknowledgement. We use it to say who the person is being. And you are being brave. You're being brave, you're being open, and you're actually being really authentic. It felt so authentic. And so thank you. I just want to thank you, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Little
yeah.
heart for Terry. There we
And
go. Aw.
worked. And Christina, I want to say to you too, such a there's for me, that was such a beautiful, solid example of what coactive coaching is, and the things you didn't do, an example of what we might sometimes do, but you didn't go there, right?
Yeah.
That self-management was really strong.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so when somebody's a coach, here's Costanza's question. When somebody's a coach, should they only conduct sessions on topics they're well versed in, or does the method they use take precedence?
Ooh.
Hmm.
Huh. Well, I wonder, what do you think, audience? What do you think? Do you think that that I need to be an expert in career to coach Carrie? No need to be an out. Terry answered
Terry
it.
said it. The client said, well, Terry, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for being the first to say that. Method
Yeah.
and process. Christopher, say a little more about method and process. Just for us here. That would be great.
He's typing. He's taking a moment.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
problem. Here's what I'll say. There is an interesting paradox. Research has shown that to be the best coach, the less you know about a topic, the better you can coach it. I say it's not like you can't be a good coach if you know an area. You certainly can. The problem is the more I know about an area, the more I'm going to try to tell you what I know and fix things myself rather than have you discover your own answers. Coaching is about unleashing that person's potential. So sometimes we say you can do it best, research has shown, when you don't know as much about it. Here's the paradox. And I do a lot of work. CTI has a program. Once you've done fundamentals, you can come to CTI's business building webinars. They're free to students. What we say is the paradox is that people will hire you because you have expertise, even if they understand what coaching is, right? So I did a lot of work in the energy industry, for example. I began, obviously being a good coach, I knew nothing about what I was coaching them about. They knew about it. I was just coaching them. And then with time, I worked with a few really big companies. I'll actually say I worked with Chevron, I worked with BP. I coached, well, I'm not going to say anymore. I have some real interesting stories of people I've coached who are kind of known in the world one way or another. And what happened is the word started getting out, like Ken Oakley is a good coach for people in the oil industry. So it got me more work. But then I started knowing stuff about it and I started having opinions. And then I was more like a consultant. So it's a little bit of a paradox.
Oh, how funny. You became an expert on accident. We have another question here. What's the difference between coactive coaching and normal coaching? Are there many different kinds of coaching? Well, I would say that there are different schools of coaching, and that those schools cover different ways and different tools, but there's often a real big theme, right? Like it's like that we share lots of things in common, like not problem solving, right? Asking questions. And then Ken, what would be the difference of coactive?
Well, actually, the coactive coaching, it aligns perfectly with the definition of coaching that the ICF has. So when you say normal coaching, coactive coaching is normal coaching. It's an interaction between two people where you really work to unlock their potential. it fits 100% the ICF definition. We are aligned with everything that the International Coaching Federation does. Here's a difference I see sometimes between what people say is normal coaching or life coaching or things like that, is often people have a mistaken notion that coaching is telling people what to do because they're thinking of sports coaches. One corporation I did some work for actually had a presentation where they wanted their managers to be able to coach their employees. Now, International Coach Federation says you can't coach your employees because that's a different relationship. But you certainly can use some coaching skills, and they were trying to go for getting people some coaching skills. But the example they used was sports coaching. And sports coaching is like a mixture between modern day coaching, the definition that the International Coach Federation has. It's a mixture between coaching, what we call coaching, and expertise and consulting. So there's a mixture. So I would say sometimes people think, Samantha, that coaching is advising.
Yeah.
Right?
And Samantha, I make up another part of your question is around if you're thinking about coming to CTI, like what makes it unique. And I love that Christopher did give us more explanation, so we'll head there next. And so I want to notice, like, as someone who went through we've all been through the program who teach here. What made it unique for me, and I've been to 3 different coaching schools. So what I noticed for me is CTI has a lot of heart, and it has a lot of around doing and being. And it has a lot of great tools that I get to use out in the world, whether I'm coaching or not. And I think that one of the things is that we just did a coach meetup last night in San Francisco, and there was 40 of us. And there's just nothing better than hanging out with a bunch of coactive coaches. We all speak the same language. We get to know each other. And so what else would you add, Ken, around like what's different, like what makes coactive different?
Well, I think it kind of fit. What I would add is to John's point here, because John just wrote, I'm worried that it'll be difficult to know what tool or skill to use in different scenarios. Can you tell us about coactive training and how it'll prepare us to become great coaches and know how to navigate the ocean of different coaching scenarios? Here's what's wonderful, John, is coactive coaching works on any topic. As long as somebody wants something, somebody comes, here's one way I sometimes describe it. Somebody comes, they want something. Let my arm represent the path. So let's say I want to get a better job, career, and I'm walking along, I'm stuck in some rocks, right? This thing I want. Or I may want to be working on my health or working with my relationship with my brother. Or maybe what I'm working on is as somebody towards the end of my career, I'm looking at what retirement would be like. Here's how coactive coaching works, is what we do is we say, what is it you really want? We get the bigger desire, not just what you want out of the session today, we get that, but then we find out, what does the person really want? What would that look like? We align it with their vision, their values, their purpose, their strengths, who they are at the heart of the matter. That lights up, like we light up their desire, and like a lighthouse, it sheds light on the path, and next thing you know, they're not in the rocks anymore, they're further along. That's the magic of coactive coaching. That can work on any topic. That can work on your health, that can work on an employee relations issue, a lot of things. Now, sometimes at companies, they want a consultant. It is true. Sometimes they want a coach and they want a consultant who has expertise in a particular field. You can use that consulting knowledge that you have to get in the door.
Yeah.
But coaching is going to work by lighting up somebody's desire. And we say it sparks insight. And we will teach you a number of methodologies. I'm referring to one in particular there that we call fulfillment, but we will teach you a number of those in the coaching work we do. And it's very, very effective, John.
Yeah.
And
Jeannie,
did that fit what you were saying too?
yeah, I love it. I love it. And I'm going to keep us rolling because I hope more questions are coming in. Jeannie has asked us, how can one become better in asking powerful questions? Ooh.
Great
Well,
question.
I think one of the things I'm going to say, Jeannie, is practice. And let's actually give you just a little demo on what powerful questions are so that when you practice, you know what you're doing. So, Ken, let's talk, like, what's important about powerful questions? What are some things we could tell Jeannie to help her know? Because I make up she might not know what it is yet, or some people might not know.
I think part of what makes powerful questions powerful is that they're simple and they're short. we often say 2 to 7 words. What do you say, Christine? We all say kind of different things.
Yeah, less than 7 words. Yeah.
But
Ooh,
what else?
go ahead. Yeah, you got it. Go for
Oh,
it.
Özlem is taking some notes. They're simple,
Yeah.
they're short, 2 to 7 words. They're open-ended. So that means they're not usually like a yes/no question, right?
Yeah.
If the problem is if you're trying to coach somebody and you ask a yes/no question, the person, like I'm asking somebody like, is that hard for you? And the person might just say, no. And then I have to ask them another question. I always say, begin them with what?
Yeah.
Easiest to do. Just begin them with what? Unless you want to calibrate, how important is that to you? 1 to 10. If you can say 1 to 10 with how, use how. Otherwise, how is saved for the end because it's about taking a step into action.
I love it. So everyone, if you're willing, and Ken and I'll do this too, in the chat, write a powerful question.
Oh, good.
And just notice it's going to start with the word what. It's going to be less than 7 words. And take your time. It's not about getting it right or wrong. You're just taking a moment to practice it. How do you get better at this as you try it? Yes. Oh, look at these experts. They're already doing powerful questions. Oh, here's another one I'm going to put in the chat that's just the shortest one I know.
One of my favorites, very favorites that I find coaches often, even certified coaches, forget about this. I love the question, what do you like about that? So
Ooh.
if I'm coaching on something you want, Christina, and you have some interest, like, oh, it would do this and this and this, even though you're excited and it seems obvious that you like it, I check in. What do you like about that? Or what do you love
Ooh.
about that? Or what's the good thing about that? People love
Yeah.
that. Guess what? With friends, you know what we do with friends? Instead, if you say, let's say, Christine, you want to learn another language and
Yeah.
you're excited about doing it, and I say, what do you like about it? That elicits something in you. What would, as a friend, what I normally say is, me too. I want to do that too.
Yeah, right?
Say, hey, I've been redoing my, Spanish or whatever
Yeah.
like
They
that.
keep coming in, Ken. This is so inspiring. I feel like they're very quick learners. You are already really becoming coactive coaches here, just so you know. How would your values speak up here? What's happening there? What is stopping you from going forward?
Alex,
Yeah.
I would say what's stopping you, I just want to say, so on the road to somebody's dreams, there's some rocks. What's stopping you tends to focus on the rocks.
Mm.
Uh, it is a powerful question and you can use it, but what's stopping you or why aren't you doing it or what's in the way? We all do those so much. I would say for now, Alex, try collecting others besides that. Put that away for now. Put that away till you end your coactive training and try instead more about what you want. Like, what would it be
Ah.
like if you're not moving forward? What would it be like to move forward?
Mm-hmm.
Go for how they want to be rather than what they don't want.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, thank you for letting us learn with you. Everyone just got to learn. Oh, good. He's receiving. Everyone just got to learn with you on that. And that's such a great thing, Ken, is for people to focus on where they want to go versus why they're not getting there. I love that.
We focus on why they're not going there all the time. And that actually is one of the differences between coaching and therapy. In therapy, we focus a lot more, not me, I'm not a trained therapist, but I have a few friends who are therapists and they say, they focus on what's wrong and why is it wrong and figuring that out. I don't think that's bad. I mean, I think therapy is fantastic, but
Yeah.
there's a diagnosis of something wrong. In coaching, we come from a place, oh, you did this beautifully in the demo, that there's nothing wrong here,
Mm.
you know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
Um,
And thanks, Harsh, for pointing out Christina's question. What's possible for you at an 8? Yeah.
I
And
love
then you
it.
actually asked so many variations on that. That was, I found that really useful. And I think Terry probably would,
Yeah,
too.
she seemed to like being at that 8. That in fact, I kept bringing her back just because it was so fun to watch her there.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, I'm noticing the time. And so what I'm going to ask you is, as we get ready to wrap up, what is one thing you're taking away from this session?
Yeah.
What is one thing
For
you're going to
yourself.
go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say that again, Ken.
Something they're taking away for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Or maybe something you're going to tell a friend about.
Hmm. Yeah.
They're taking a moment to type it. Possibilities, more possibility. Oh, Giselle, that's great. Oh, look at John. He's already.
About level 2 and level 3 listening. We talked about that in the very first coaching class, different levels of listening. Yeah, asking
Oh,
what the future looks like and getting detail. Yeah. Having
mm-hmm,
people open their imagination is what that reminds me of, Terry, when you say that.
mm-hmm. I'm now more curious about CTI and starting a new and exciting adventure. So we've got some folks that are starting to walk the path potentially. Well, here's what I want you to know about my experience of CTI. My work paid for me to go through CTI, so I didn't actually even think I was going to be a coach. And I got like most of the way through the program, and I realized that this was home. Like I love the work of CTI. So my hope and invitation to those of you who are thinking about it or who have already done this is like, welcome home. Like we hope that you can come find a part of yourself here at home too.
Yeah. I here, I agree. I paid for each class by myself.
Did you?
One at a time. Yeah. And what I found was, I mean, I had to pay for it myself. So I took just fundamentals first.
Hmm.
And I didn't really understand what coaching was or what CTI was. We didn't do webinars like this at the time. So I broke down, I went ahead and I paid for the class and I loved it, man. Within like an hour, I realized, oh, I thought it would be a little bit more like tough on people or, how to be tough on people to get them to get results. And that's not what it is actually. We say the agenda comes from the client. It doesn't come from us.
That's right.
And that really impressed me. The freedom and the openness felt like home to me when I got there. And
Mm.
I have also worked with a number of coaching schools, actually,
Oh, there.
several, pretty much countless at this point. And
Yeah.
here's what I found is there's a lot of good stuff out there, but CTI is like the heart of the matter. We created an awful lot of the model of what coaching is today, and we're still around because of how effective it is.
Yeah.
So I tell people, if you really want to be the best coach you can be, take those classes. They're
Yeah.
so good.
That's great. Everyone, I'm so appreciative of you coming, hanging out with us, wherever time zone you're in, Bangalore to, we had Australia, New Zealand, Asia, United States. Like,
Yeah.
thank you so much for tuning in with us and coming to play and do some coaching demo with us and learning about coaching.
We have a link that Laura put in for us in the chat. Laura's with CTI, service@coactive.com. You can write to, or you can click Calendly to actually schedule the time to talk to somebody. So if you have more questions, definitely reach out, get them answered, right?
Yeah.
Really thrilled to be here with you today. Christina, thanks. How fun to dance with you tonight here in California time.
Yeah.
And wish you all a great week and a great month and a great fall.
Yeah.
And hope to cross paths with you all sometime.
Yeah. Maybe they'll be in one of our classes, Ken.
That's right. That would be super fun. Hope to
Yeah.
see you.
Thank you, Ken, for dancing. And everyone, thank you so much for being here with us.
Mhm.
Aw, so happy to be part of this. The great session. Thank you again. Yeah, thank